You like it darker? Let's find out. Alright guys, welcome back to my channel. I am Zach with Zacks Books, and today we've got a King release. Stephen King, You Like It Darker. It is a collection, and I'm very excited for this. Well, by the time I'm filming this intro, I've already read it, so I was excited for it. I don't really have anything else I could really say. I just, you know, I hope you guys enjoyed the video, because obviously I've already been done with it. But yeah, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe. There's 12 stories in this. The sequel to Cujo. The cover has an alligator on it. It's King release day. There's nothing else I can say about it. We're feeding Matt. Life is good. And yeah, also down below is Patreon, Danielle's channel, all that other fun stuff. And yeah, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and let's get started. All right, it is release day for this beauty. You Like It Darker, Stephen King. Sorry for the glare. We got the library book here. We checked that out. I did order one from Amazon. It's coming later. It's pub day. Very exciting. I have already started the audiobook for it because that got, obviously I was able to get that before I got the book. I'm only partway through the first story. I think it's called Two Talented Bastards. Very bad accent, I'm sorry. But yeah, no, I'm partway through it, so I don't have much to say at the moment. I'll probably do little intervals every 2-3 stories, maybe, depending on the length of them. You can hear Mavi in the background there. But yeah, no, so it's pub day. I'm very excited. And actually, this cover's been out for a while, and I just realized that that's like an alligator or a crocodile on the cover.
Well, you can tell more when you see it like wrapped around too.
Yeah, because you can see it like kind of wrap around towards the back. So now that I can see the back of it, it's very clearly a alligator or crocodile, not just an island. So how much I paid attention to it. But yeah, no, very exciting stuff. We're gonna make a few stops here. We got some stuff we got to do, and yeah, I'm gonna get through a couple stories here, and then I'll meet back with you guys in a little bit. All right, so I have gotten my copy in, and it looks absolutely stunning and amazing. I have finished the first 4 stories in You Like It Darker, and I'm not gonna lie, they have been pretty much all really good. Two Talented Bastards, basically we're following this one, the son of a writer who's, you know, he's passed on, and basically he's reliving the story that basically was told that him and one of his friends had like this camping trip or this hunting trip. Something took place during the hunting trip, and one of them became a really good artist and one became a really good writer. It was really, really cool. I really did enjoy the first story. I got vibes from a callback to another King book. I've actually gotten a couple of the vibes from a couple of the stories so far. I don't want to say which one because I don't want to spoil that, but it's a very, I had to like look up towns because I honestly thought it was the same town, or it could have potentially been the same town. There's also another reference in the first story that I thought was really intriguing to another book. But again, I don't want to spoil anything. But yeah, no, a really exciting story. The 5th step has actually been the weakest one so far. And that was story number 2. This dude's sitting on a park bench, and this guy walks up to him. He's an alcoholic, and he just kind of explains his whole shtick with, you know, I met this guy who was a sponsor, and he was going over the step process with me, and this is, you know, he mentions early on that he is really good at doing something, and it's like something he's trying to not do anymore, but it's a big plot twist at the very end of that story. The first story I gave 5 stars. The 5th step I still gave 4, but when I more go through the rest of this and ponder it, it might end up being a 3-star. Story number 3 is Willie the Weirdo. This is a story about a family, and they have a son named Willie who's like obsessed with their grandfather, who has all these really weird like war stories and all these other kind of stories, and he's just like intrigued with death and all this weird stuff. Grandpa gets sick, and the ending has a really big twist, and I thought it was really stunning. Danny Coughlin's Bad Dream. Holy crap. This story, I gave this 5 in a heartbeat. It's the longest story in this collection, but holy crap, it felt like its own standalone, like, book. Like, it didn't feel like it belonged in this collection. Like, I feel like that could have been its own story. It was so, so good. This guy has a dream about finding a body in the ground at a gas station, and he finally caves in. He's a janitor at a school, and he caves in and goes to, like, finally, like, see if it's there. It is, and he buys a burner phone because he thinks, oh, well, if I call it in, they might think I did it. Calls the police, gives them a anonymous tip, and all hell breaks loose for this guy after this happens. Like, he's accused of everything, and, you know, all this and that, and this, it's such an amazing story. I loved it. I actually didn't know if it was going to be very, very good, but it's actually up there for me with, like, The Mist and The Monkey and stuff like that. It's so good. I couldn't get enough of it. I wanted it to keep going, honestly. But yeah, no, so I still have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I have 8 more stories to go. And I'm excited for the next bunch here. I don't know if anything's going to top Danny Coughlin's Bad Dream. Maybe, I mean, the closest one, maybe Rattlesnakes, the sequel to Cujo. And then King said the story called The Dreamer is actually, like, gave him nightmares. So, we'll have to see. And those are the last couple ones. So, next up I have a story called Finn, and I'm going to get that one going. And we'll see what I'd like with that one, if I like it or not. But so far, it's been a really good collection. So we'll see how it goes, and we'll see you in the next update. All right, finishing next set of 4 stories. New outfit change because Mavi threw up on me. So the next 4 stories, there was a story called Finn, which is about this kid who basically runs into this kid who looks almost like identical to him, and he has really bad luck, and he gets captured by, like, this, like, mobbish type group of people, and they, like, torture the heck out of him. Really weird, intriguing story. I give that one 4 stars. On Side Inn Road, we're following this family that basically is, like, on this road trip. The grandpa is going to see, I think, his sister who's, like, dying. And they take the grandpa's car, and he basically is, like, all this bad stuff happens with the car, and the dad is, like, mad with the grandpa because, like, this is your fault. We should have just taken my car. And then they stumble across these 2 guys that are up to no good, and it's an intriguing story. I originally gave it 3, but I might settle at 3.5. The next story was the next 2 were meh. Red Screen, I gave 3 stars. It's about this guy who has got this case where he murdered his wife. And then, like, he, like, tells the detective, like, you know, if you're married, you know, you'll see, you know, the red screen. It's, like, a real thing. And you know, that's, like, what caused him to, like, do what he did. There's a really intriguing twist at the end that I thought was okay. I gave it 3 just because it was too short. Well, I mean, it's a short story collection, but it was short, and I don't know. I'm indifferent about it. I only gave it 3. I wasn't fully on board with that story. The Turbulence Expert was a weird one. We're following this guy who goes on a plane, and basically he has like a precognition thing with, like, seeing turbulence happen in a plane where it gets really bad. And basically he, like, finds this woman, he explains his job and everything, and a pretty intriguing story. Not anything super exciting though. I settled on like 3.5. The next 4 are going to be intriguing for me. Lori, Rattlesnakes, The Dreamers, and The Answer Man. I was watching somebody else do a review on this, and the last 4 stories they said were really good, but I'm intrigued to see what happens. I'm excited for Rattlesnakes and The Dreamers. The Answer Man, I think, might be pretty intriguing too, but we'll see. I don't know. So far, it's been a pretty decent collection. The middle stories were kind of mid, but the first ones were pretty solid. Hopefully they end with a bang, and we'll see what happens. Next one up is called Lori, and yeah, we are going to get underway with these last 4, and then we'll see you guys at the end. Okay, so we just finished You Like It Darker by Stephen King, and I I know I kind of get this way when I have a first take of reading a King book, where I think it's like one of the greatest things in the world, and that has been proven with Billy Summers. Fairy Tale I thought was fantastic. The only exception I'd say is Holly, but that's because of all the stuff I had issues with it. And he definitely did not do as much political COVID stuff in this collection that he did in Holly. There's 12 stories, and he definitely did not really... I mean, he mentioned COVID probably in a couple of them, but it wasn't like nearly as bad as Holly was. So the last 4 stories I read was Lori. I gave that one 4 stars. It's about this old guy who loses his wife, gets gifted a dog, and like at first he doesn't want anything to do with it, and then he eventually, you know, grows attached to it, as one always does with a dog, duh. And so that was a really touching story. It would have been a 5 because it was so touching, but the ending was just sudden. I like felt like I wanted more from that story than what was given. The next 3 were 5 stars. I'm not even going to lie. Rattlesnakes, the sequel to Cujo, we're following Vic Trenton. I forget how to pronounce their last name, but he's the dad from Cujo, and basically we're following him. He's moved on, but it's like the year 2000. It's 2020, so it's like a bunch of years later. He moves to this town called Rattlesnake, and there's a lot of, so I wouldn't say there's a lot, but there's a big reference to an older novel, which, again, I don't want to spoil anything, which I guess is not really super spoilerful, if that's a word. Doohickey gets brought up a bunch in this, and the ending is really cool. I thought that that was like a cool like lead on to, you know, maybe something else being done or happening writing wise with a certain place. Otherwise I really liked it, and the like hauntingness of like the 2 weird children in this book, in this story, was like spectacular. It was really creepy. The Dreamers. This is the one that King said like gave him nightmares when he was writing it, and I can definitely see why. It's basically we're following these 2 guys who want to, well, I guess one guy has this like theory with like sleep, kind of reminding me of the Sleep Experiment. If you guys have read that book, who is the author of that book? I have a bunch of his books, The Sleep Experiment.
Jeremy Bates.
Yes, Jeremy Bates, which I've read that book twice and given it 5 stars, both times. Basically, it's this guy who like shows these people a picture. I think it's like a green house with a red door, or it's a red house with a green door. First lady they talk to is like, "Oh, it's too Christmassy." Basically, what they do is they show them the picture and they go to sleep, and it's a really creepy story. It's really like, I could see why King kind of gave himself nightmares with this one, because it was definitely on the spookier side. But I absolutely love the story. The last story is called The Answer Man, and I was kind of torn on what I wanted to rate this. I originally had 4.5 just because I wanted... At the very beginning, it's like, I encountered the Answer Man 3 times. We get to the last, like, 5 or 10 pages, and he finally meets him again when he's, like, really old. And I kind of wanted to, like, have the last interaction be a little bit better between them. But... at the same time, there's really not much else you can expect. Basically, this guy stumbles across this dude called the Answer Man, and he asks him certain questions. The first time he meets him, it's like $25 for 5 minutes, but the first 2 questions are free. Then the next time, it's $50 for 3 minutes, and you only get 1 free question. And then he stumbles across him the last time, and it's like all answers are free. Granted, the guy is like super old now, and I just really liked the story. I thought it was really intriguing. I don't know. I get this way when I read a King book right after I'm done with it. Usually, I really like it and I hype it up too much. And you know, a month from now, some of these feelings might be different. It's an overall 4-star collection for me, which for a collection, that's pretty high. Out of the collections he has, I would definitely say it's not as good as Different Seasons, that's for sure. I'm kind of torn between this and 4 Past Midnight as being like number 2 and number 3. I'm going to be honest with you, which is sad because Skeleton Crew is such an amazing collection as well. But I really, really like this collection that he has. This is a really solid collection. Are there parts in here that do kind of feel meh? Yes, I really think that Willie the Weirdo, even now I'm looking at a 4-star, and that might change eventually. The Fifth Step was one that definitely did not hit as hard. And same with Red Screen and the Turbulence Experts. They didn't hit as well as any of the other ones did. But there were 5 5-stars in this for me. And I don't know. To me, just like I did with Sleeping Beauties, I just kind of opened my mind perspective and not went into this expecting just pure horror out of King, even though it's called You Like It Darker. And just enjoyed the stories that he had. They were pretty solid, besides the ones I mentioned that were bad. So overall, really good collection. And I'm excited to see what he does next. The Talisman 3. Unconfirmed. But yeah, I have wishes. And, but yeah, there you have You Like It Darker and my reviews of the stories. Again, I want to keep it spoiler-free. If you'd like to see spoilers talked about more, maybe let me know and we can, do it in the comments, or I could make a video where,
a rant review 3 years down the line.
Yeah, a rant review, in 4 or 5 years. But yeah, maybe I'll do one of those too. I don't know. While it's still fresh in my head, maybe we'll do that eventually. That or 3 years from now when I reread it again. But yeah, no, very exciting stuff. Don't forget to check out the stuff down below. Danielle's channel, the Patreon, all that fun stuff. We're feeding Mavi now, so he's slapping the table because he wants more food. So yeah, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe. If you've read this book, let me know your thoughts. If you agree with me, you disagree with me, let me know in the comments. Try and keep it spoiler-free, but with them being short stories, it's kind of hard to keep it spoiler-free. So I did my best to try and keep it spoiler-free for you guys. So if I did say any spoilers, I apologize. But yeah, there you have it, and we'll see you guys in the next video. Later.